Chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I would like to share with you a very dramatic game played by Boris Gelfand against Anish Giri. The game was played in 2013 at Beijing FIDE Grand Prix. But before starting our game, as usual, would like to warm up your brain. Please take a look at this position and try to find the winning move for white. I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Back to our main board, and now let's see what happened in our game. Gelfand opened up with d4 and Giri responded with d6, knight f3 g6, c4 f5. Black goes for Dutch Leningrad. Now comes knight c3, knight f6, g3, bishop g7, bishop g2. We have castling by both sides, c6, and this time we have b3. Gelfand is also going to fianchetto his queen side, bishop, queen a5, bishop b2, e5, queen d2, and queen c7. The idea behind queen c7 is that now black wants to go for e4. And of course, instead of playing queen c7, going for e4 straight away is not possible because of this knight takes e4 move, and if queen takes d2, then knight takes f6 check followed by knight takes d2. That's why after queen d2, Giri first played queen c7 and after d5 played e4. At 2019 European Individual Chess Championship, Boris Gelfand had this position against Jules Musart, and in here he played knight g5. But in our game against Giri, Gelfand chose knight d4. Here we have queen e7, d takes c6, b takes c6, rook d1. Yes, this pawn is a problem for black, and black should be very careful, and knight c2. Instead of playing knight c2, going for f3 straight away was better. And this e3 is not dangerous because this pawn can even become a target for white pieces. If bishop b7, then bishop c1, and if rook e8, then knight c2. But in our game after rook d8, we have knight c2. d5, and only now we have f3. If we have a look at the position, still black hasn't solved the development of his queenside pieces, and actually looks like that black has pushed too far his pawns, and at any moment if white can break into pieces this beautiful pawn chain, then black can find himself in trouble. Here we have rook d7, c takes d5, c takes d5, and knight b5. Well, instead of playing knight b5, this daring g4 move could create too many problems for black. Yes, the idea is to break into pieces black's pawn chain, and if f takes g4, then f takes g4. If knight takes g4, then white can first play queen f4, and if knight f6, then bishop a3, and white has a huge compensation for the sacrificed pawn. But in our game after c takes d5, we have knight b5. Not a venomous move, and black is managing to equalize the game. Rook c1, bishop b7, knight d4. We have the exchange of knights on d4 and a6. Black is kicking away the knight from that active square. Knight c3, and the rook is on the c file. Rook c8, knight a4, rook c7, and we have the exchange of first pair of rooks on c7. Rook c1. Gelfand is also offering the exchange of second pair of rooks, knight e8. We have rook takes c7, and we have more simplifications. The bishops are gone and the rooks as well. Queen b6. The players have equal chances, and now let's see what's going to happen next. F takes e4, d takes e4, e3, queen d7, bishop f1. The bishop was very passive on g2, that's why Gelfand is bringing it on this active c4 square, knight g5. Meanwhile, black knight is looking for weak squares, and bishop c4 check, and after king g7, Gelfand forced the exchange of queens. Queen d4 check is on the board. Queen takes d4, e takes d4, and knight f3 check, although black is winning the pawn on d4 by forking the king and the pawn, but now comes knight c5, and this time it's white who is managing to win black pawn. Still we have an equal position, king f6, and yes, we have an equal position, and it was in here that Boris Gelfand fell asleep. Yes guys, believe it or not, but he fell asleep. He only needed 3 moves in order to complete the time control, but he fell asleep. And here is how Gelfand describes this incident. I fell asleep during the game and the arbiter woke me up and said, "You are lost on time." Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dramatic game, give the thumbs up. For more games, consider subscribing to my channel. Also, press the bell button to get notified about new uploads. I will see you in my next video. Take care.